What's good? What's good? What's good? Get myself ready here. I'd like to welcome everybody to episode 35. No. Yeah, 35. I'm messing up. Episode 35 of Child 15 with Jay Walker. We'll go ahead and get into it tonight. My next guest on the show is dude I've known for about 10 years. The last time I lived in Reno was when I caught wind of this dude. MC went real heavy in the battle scene. Made a name for himself, man. Was doing his fucking thing and shit, and still doing his thing to this day. Hardcastle. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring my man in, and we're gonna start this off. It's good, Scourge. Yo,
What up?
what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Right. Man, good to see you.
You too?
Right, man. So, shit, man. How's things been recently with you? You know, life and everything. How are things going?
Things are good, man. Staying busy. Working through the pandemic and everything. That's interesting. Still is interesting. My wife's business got closed down for like 51 days when it first happened. When they
Okay.
down. But I was deemed essential, so I was lucky enough to work through the whole thing. It was, like I said, it was extremely different, extremely difficult, especially if you've never been through something like that before, and
Right.
you have to figure out how to adjust every single thing, everything.
Where are you working that they deemed you essential?
At Best Buy. I'm still at Best Buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, so Best Buy been open this whole fucking time? I didn't
Yeah.
even know that shit.
Yeah. I'm going on in 10 days, I'll be 17 years there.
Damn. Okay. Shit. So you up the chain, man. What do you do there now?
I'm the GM.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. I knew
Yeah.
you was up the chain. You been working there that long.
Yeah.
You running shit. That's
Yeah.
what's up, man.
So yeah, we had to adjust. Like we closed down just curbside, then people could come in on appointments, and now everybody can come in. So
Mm.
it's really different. Just the main thing is making sure everybody feels safe. That's my main goal. Make sure everybody feels safe when they come to work.
Now, how is that? How has that been for you in particular, especially working this whole time? Have you been feeling that you're safe out there and everything like that, or is it
Yeah,
like
I feel safe, but at the same time, it's nerve-wracking because my father is on oxygen. So when I'm out there, and he lives with us. So when I'm out there, it's always in the back of my mind, like, what if, because the
right,
common cold can take him down. So, COVID it's game over, so it's
right,
where you have to do, to support the family and keep the roof over the head and keep the roof over.
mm-hmm.
At the same time, you're like, what if? Every day it's what if this happens,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's nerve-wracking every day.
Now, now obviously you said it's back open now. So
Yeah.
like, how are people been? How have people been in there? Has it been cool? Do you get the people that are mad that they got to wear masks?
You know what? I think
Or
we're going to, but everyone's cool. Everyone's wearing a mask. I mean, employees all day, we have to wear a mask. There's absolutely no exceptions to it.
right,
We take every precaution every morning, with what we have to do with temperature checks with our employees and everything. And, but yeah, everyone's extremely cool. I spend the most of my time at the front of the store, just being the face for when customers come in, because everybody's going to have questions, and I should be the one that answers those questions, being the face of the store. So, we've never been busier this month. It's insane. It's crazy. It's mind boggling, but it's awesome.
dude, that's crazy.
It's insane.
Which one do you work
The Carson one.
in? Okay. Oh, you are in Carson. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you live in Carson?
No, I live in,
No. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
That's what's up, man. Shit. So, and has the family been good during this whole situation? Because I know you got a wife and kids and stuff. So has that been?
Yeah. When school closed, we became teachers. We homeschooled for the, back half of James for first grade. So getting him to, understand that you don't get to go to school and see your friends every day anymore. How do you explain that to a 7-year-old to get them to actually understand without
Right.
without scaring them, right? So you have to walk that fine line of, this is what's going on in the world, and this is unfortunately why you don't get to go to school.
Yeah.
His martial arts was paused, so everything was done online. So the iPad became school. His
Yeah.
teachers were great, which was awesome. They would send us everything, and every day he would take attendance. It's just like he was at school, picture of him, and then he would do his work, and we would take pictures and send it in. So I was really thankful that the school wasn't just like, oh, we're shutting down, you're not going to learn anymore. They're like, no, you still get to learn. And it's different than when we went to school. I'll tell you that. Some of that,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, that should be an easy answer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's been, obviously not taking the vacations we usually take. We normally would be coming back from vacation yesterday. That's just, we do the same thing every year. But so it's different. We just got to find ways to still get out of the house and still live our life, but at the same time, got to keep people safe. I do what I do to keep everybody else safe, and I think that that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't realize is you have to do your part as a human to keep everybody else around you safe, even if whatever you think is or isn't. You need to keep people safe, and if you can't do your part, then stay home.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the very least, you should have enough compassion to think about your fellow human. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think a lot of people get confused of, like, oh, I'm fine, so it's
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like, I'm good. But, like, what if you're a person who carries it and then you take it to somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like,
some innocent person who has a terminal illness, and you may never know that you gave it to him, but
exactly.
want that in the back of your mind. I just couldn't live that way.
Exactly.
Couldn't live that
Exactly. I totally understand that, man. I feel the same way. That's why I'm kind of like hesitant to even hesitant when it comes to like opening the studio, man. Like, I know we talked about things and I'm
way.
like, man, I want to. And then this fucking second wave is
Yeah,
starting to come and I'm just like, damn, I'm gonna have to think of something because I don't know. Like, I'm just not, because this is my home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I live upstairs. So, like, if anything goes bad here, it isn't like I have a separate space, like a
right. Yeah,
workspace or something. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
There's nowhere else.
that's
Oh,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, man. So yeah, it's just it's crazy how everything is going, but I just hope like you're saying that people are fucking like aware of other people and try to take precautions, man,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not at the end of the day, it's not just about you.
Right.
It's about everybody. So
Yeah. And I was already a germ freak before this whole thing started, so now it's extra. It's like, oh, gas pump, Clorox wipes. That's
right. Yeah,
anybody.
my wife's the same way, man. She's a germaphobe, and then
Yeah.
this just intensified it. So I mean, it almost made her right. Like, see, I told you. Like,
We're not so crazy anymore. Everyone's like, oh, they were right this whole time. We thought they were crazy. No.
for real, man. Man, so with COVID, obviously we're dealing with that, and then also we're dealing with social injustice and everything. What are your thoughts on everything that's been going on in that realm?
Yeah. If I had to be, it honestly, it breaks my heart. It really, really does to think that there are people out in this world and that still have hatred, that still think that certain things are okay. It when everything first, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. It's just the first time that it was filmed, in a way to where people could see what really happened, and we weren't hearing anything third party, I guess, so to speak. Um,
Right.
and I think that that's the problem is people think that this is the first time. I'm like, you're crazy if you think that. It's been going on forever. Now it's finally brought, the alarm's been going off, but you hit the snooze button, so to speak, right? It just, my first emotion was anger. I was extremely angry that happened.
Yeah.
Just hearing and seeing people still talk the way they do, sometimes I'm speechless because the only thing I want to say is anger, but that's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Why, when there's been, the peaceful protests in Reno, I was like, I should be there. But two things, with COVID happening, I had to make that decision. And then more importantly, how would I react if someone was saying those negative things to somebody who was standing right next to me?
Yeah.
And if I couldn't answer that question I would be calm, then I would, a sense, be part of a problem that I couldn't see myself creating, because it makes me so angry that people are so just arrogant. It's hard for me to understand. It really is, to understand how somebody can treat another human being the way that they're being treated.
No, I get it, man. I get it. And that's the tough thing about it too, is like, especially for someone like in your shoes, like you have compassion and you understand, but then you're looking at other people who don't, and you're like, how the fuck can't you see it? And I'm pretty sure you probably had conversations or talked with people who said some dumb shit to you, and you're just like,
Yeah.
how don't you get it, dude? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I got caught up in a Twitter conversation over something, and some posted something about the Confederate flag, and all I said was, you do understand that you have an American flag, but you're talking about the Confederate flag like it's a good thing, but you don't understand that the people who had the Confederate flag shot at the people who had the American flag. Like, do you not understand history? You don't.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why even? This person's not going to get it. So they're not going to understand it. They're looking for a reaction. That's why. And it popped up on my feed because someone else had said something and someone else had said something. And it's like,
Exactly.
So, responded. I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I'm like, why am I giving them what they want? Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
It's tough, man. It's tough because I fight that shit every day, dude. Whether I go on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and I see it like a dumb comment, and it's just the first thing that I want to do is hit the reply and say some shit to them, but I have to stop myself. Like, I do it maybe once out of 10 times I might do it. But every time I want to, I have to stop myself, because it's just like you're saying, like the people, and then I go and look at their page, right? And then I see that they're like no post, or they don't follow anybody, or they have like fucking 10 bullshit posts about Trump, or it's a fucking American flag on their shit. And I'm just like, see, I'm not even doing this because this might not even be a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Yeah, and I've always thought that, if I can change one person's view on, anything that's negative, then hopefully that person can change somebody's view on something that's negative. Right. And I've always believed that. But with the situation that we're currently in, I don't think that you're going to change somebody's view. We have to do our part to keep the positivity and find ways to change what's going on. And hopefully, these negative people and these just rude individuals, they'll just be an afterthought. And we can on living a world where as where everybody is equal, the way it should be. I was raised to obviously never judge anybody. You never judge a book by its cover, ever. And I don't understand how some of these people were raised to think that it is okay to blatantly disrespect somebody, or when people are peacefully protesting, just walking down a street, you stand there with your assault rifles. Like, they're literally insane. That's the only way I can think about it, is they're crazy, and I just don't understand it.
I think it's a little bit too of that, and I think it's also a little bit of the fear of change.
Yeah,
things have been so long this way for so long, and they've benefited from those things that you don't know what change is going to bring. See, it's almost like they're scared to the point where it's like they fear the change is going to be what they've inflicted on everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's not what everybody, and if you think about it, that's not what everybody wants. Nobody's trying to say, oh no, now it's your turn to go through what you did to everybody. Like,
Right.
no, it's just make shit equal, dude. Just make it equal, make it fair. If we both go for a job, let's go for merit, not because of what I look like or what you look like or
Right.
whatever. Like, you know, so yeah, it's crazy. I hope that things are changing. It feels like it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it remains to be seen
Hmm.
how things happen the rest of this year with the election and everything
Yeah.
else and all that. But it feels like there's change happening. It
It
does.
definitely feels like people have a voice. I feel like we've always had that voice, but this time I feel like the voice is actually being heard, and you can see it like what
Right.
you with different things that are occurring that normally wouldn't occur because, like I said before, in the past when stuff like this would happen, we'd never get to see what really happened. You know, we could hear
People
about.
were busy too.
Yeah,
We were busy. Everybody was had their lives. And then now with this one,
yeah,
everybody was at home. There was
yeah,
no way not to see it. You were gonna see it. You had to. And I think that's why there are a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I've never seen this before. But you were just too busy in your day-to-day life, or you chose not to look. Either
yeah,
one. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? And you didn't see it.
yeah,
So you
or
wouldn't know. But now it's like it's here, it's in your face. You
mm-hmm,
have to see it. And
yep.
and here we are.
And some people, you know, the sad part is some people who feel the way that we feel probably feel if they have that conversation with their family that it's not going to go well. And I think that, you know, Bamboo has done a great job talking about, you know, uncomfortable conversations. You know, I've reading all his posts. You know, Jerry's done a great job with what he's doing and with what you're doing as well. All three of you guys, like, commend all of you on what you're doing. And I think that it's amazing. And I think that little things like what you three are doing will give those other people who might not have that confidence to have those hard conversations that push that they need to have that conversation and understand that
Yeah,
they don't
you're right.
these people don't need to be in their lives if they feel this way. You know, I feel fortunate that, you know, everyone in my family is on the same side, you know, with me. And we all of us are, you know, I haven't had to have a difficult conversation with someone inside my family. Outside my
That's
family,
cool.
yes, but inside my family, no. And that doesn't happen for everybody. So I can imagine what it feels like being that person that just wants to, I want to tell them how I feel, but I'm scared. And they shouldn't feel that way. And that's the parent's fault or whoever's fault for allowing their children to feel that way, that they can't have that voice of positivity in a time when it's needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen friends of mine that, you know, I follow on social media and
Mhm.
stuff, and I see like the conversations they're having with their families and parents, and you know, you got some older parents that have certain views, but you're younger because you grew up in a different crowd around different people, and they have that clash
Yeah.
to where like they don't even want to go around their parents. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Because they got to hear whatever they're going to hear, or whatever they're going to say, or whatever disrespectful shit is going to be said. So, yeah, it's tough. I can only imagine, like, you know, but you know, actually, I can't imagine because I have been in situations, even with my own family back in the day, with ignorance, you know, and it goes both ways, man. Like I've had it in my own family where I've had to like teach my mom shit, like, yo, like that's not the thing. That's not you can't be like that. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And now thank God she's got it, but
Hmm.
I know some parents will just be like, no, this is what I'm the parent.
Yeah.
I know more, so we're gonna go by what I know, you know.
Right.
But luckily, my mom kind of got it after a while. But
Yeah.
you know, like everybody's not that lucky,
Yeah.
so it sucks. But everybody's not that lucky.
Hmm.
Well, shit, man. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's talk
Okay.
about some music, man. Let's
Yeah.
talk about you, man. How long have you been actually rapping and making music, man? Like, when
So
did you start?
when I was 18, well, I've been freestyling since I was like 14, but I was never good.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is more of a hobby for me. I was like, and I wouldn't let anybody hear it, you know, just because. I mean, my whole life, hip hop has been part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
My first Walkman tape player, I had a Tag Team. and Crisscross. Those were my tapes. You know, but they were only singles. So it's like, play it once, turn over for the remix, rewind it, you know, and that's kind of how I got into it. And then, you know, like the DMX was a huge, huge influence on me. If, you know, you've seen my battles, you probably see it, you know. But he was a huge influence on me, you know, what he did. And I just always loved his music. And then I would, the freestyling kind of came, you know, here and there. And then, you know, one time at school, I was freestyling, and this other guy who was super good with freestyling, and he's like, we should battle. And I was like, oh, okay. Never wound up happening. So, and there's no phones back then. So, right. But then, you know, it was weird how it kind of evolved, because I was at the knitting factory before I really even knew anybody in the scene, because I didn't really know anybody. And I was at the knitting factory, and these three guys were outside. Remember the alleyway of the knit? How everybody would kind of hang out there in between shows.
Yep.
And I was out there, and these three guys were freestyling. Like, people were just battling and battling and battling. And I was like, I'm going to get in there, because these three dudes, they're not even from here. I was like, this is an opportunity. Let's see what I can do. And I went in there, and I battled all three of them. And I had this Kobe Bryant line that this dude was wearing a Kobe shirt. And I just got in this zone, and it was weird. And I felt like I was numb. Like, it was the greatest thing ever. I was like, this is amazing. And someone filmed it, put it up on YouTube. And then I got an email from Hubbard, just out of nowhere, or a Facebook message, I think it was at that time, about battling. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I did my first battle. And one of my first battles was against Tone on Grind Time. And I was so new to the scene, and I didn't know anybody. I went to that battle with my mom, my dad, my brother, and my friend. Underground. That's how I rolled up, right? I was like,
you rolled up like it was a regular show.
Right. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I knew Grind Time because I grew up watching Thesaurus. You know, he is, you know, a huge mentor to me still till this day in battle rap. But I grew up watching him. So I saw the battles, but I never, you know how, like, you really want something, but you're like, how do I get there?
Right.
And after that battle, like, this is how out of touch with the scene I was. And this is a funny story that me, Nap, and Jerry share is I thought Nap was Big Tone's brother. I didn't know. They were just standing next to each other, and I'm there with my parents. And then it just kind of evolved from there, and I kept getting booked on cards for battling. And then, you know, it was LA, Utah, the Bay Area, which, you know, being born in the Bay Area, getting to go back there to battle was an amazing experience. And then it just kind of in Alameda.
Okay.
Yeah. So
East Bay.
Still lives down there, so I go down there as much as I can. And I just, every time I go, you know, to the Bay Area, you know, I always go to Dope Era. Got to buy me a shirt. Fab always drops new. And then Oaklandish. Those are two of my favorite stores. So when I get to go down there, and then I get to go, you know, shopping down there, and, you know, just, you always feel that love no matter where you're at in the Bay Area. I love that. I love that feeling. You can't get, I always tell people, you can't get that anywhere else. I don't care what anybody says.
It's different.
It is. Sure. It is. Like, nobody, that's, if I had to put a pin on a place that has that the positivity outweighs the negativity, it would be there from the people that you can surround yourself with. But yeah, that's how, you know, the battle rap just evolved. And then I became, like you said, it came out of nowhere, where people just knew who I was, and I was meeting all these new people and making these new lifelong friends and these relationships. It was just amazing. And then I never really recorded music because I always focused so much on battle rap. And then I did one project, and I would do some shows with it. But the person I was in battle rap became the person I was in the studio. And those are two different people. And I never separated that before. And
right.
Yeah, and that's why I hate my past album. Like, I don't like it at all. You know, what some of the songs on there, like, they could have been better. It could have been so much more, but I was encompassed in the view that people had on me as a battle rapper, that I felt that if I lost that in the booth, everyone's gone.
Well, that makes sense, and that's kind of the struggle that you see with guys who, go extra hard with the battle rap.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why, even when it was going on out here, when you got into it, Dan asked me to do it, and I did start out battling back in the day, but at that point, the way it evolved to the rounds, and
Yeah.
who you're battling, and it's research, like I almost felt like that was going to take away from me creatively as an artist.
Right.
So if I didn't want to do it unless I was going to go all the way in, and I didn't, that's the reason why I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why people do, but then I also see the other side of that where they try to make music after it.
Yeah.
And you're like, do I have to stay in this realm or that realm? So I totally understand that dilemma, man. Like that had to be kind of tough because you probably wanted to do more creative things, but you feel like you're boxed in with this battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't write for battles until I went to, I got booked in LA, and that was the last battle that I went to without being prepared. I got destroyed. The guy was a machine, and he did the research and he was ready. Everything he said was relevant. And here I am, with my energy and my first round, and it came off perfect. And I had the crowd. It wasn't enough because I couldn't put together the cadence that he had. And it was bad. It was after that, it was a very humbling experience. And he even told me afterwards, he's like, you have to write. If you're going to keep doing this,
Mm-hmm.
you have to write, because if you don't, there's no place for you. That freestyle, it still exists. They still have those, freestyle competitions and things like that. But for the most part, if you don't write, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah. And then when I started battling, when I first started rapping, it was just freestyle battles. Like freestyles, they throw beats on. It's a bracket, you against another person, couple
Yeah.
rounds. It's freestyles. You don't know the person you're rapping against.
No.
You just start rapping. So
Yep.
like that was another thing where I'm like, man, this is crazy now. This is really like you can do homework and start talking to people and like, so it gets deep. Did you ever? I mean, you obviously wrote some of your battles. Did you get to the point where you got like really, really like, I'm studying this dude on a particular battle and like went really hard on it?
Yeah, when I first got booked, so after LA, when I started writing and taking the time, when I knew who I was going to battle, we went out to Utah, and I knew that this was an opportunity to almost reinvent what happened the last time I was on the road. So, I took the time, I did my research, found out where the guy got his name from, found out different things about him. Some stuff I kept in my pocket, and I was like, if he's going to get super deep and personal, I've got these bars.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You gotta. It's so strategic, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's strategy, man.
I never bring up. I'll have facts that could be devastating, and I keep them to myself. And even when I, spit my rounds, for the same 5 people I've spit them for forever, I still leave things out, because some of the things that people say, it's battle rap, and they're always like, you can't take it seriously. And I never do. I don't take it seriously. But I've been in situations where people take it seriously, and I'm like, why are you even here? So I'll put those kind of things in my pocket, those things that I know are going to set somebody off, and I'll wait. And if they bring up something that would, set somebody off, thinking it would set me off, and I can feel that that's what they're trying to do, then it's game time. I'll be like, oh, well, shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Pocket, yeah.
You're like, now you open this door, so here we go.
Yeah. Like, you started it, I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah. Man. So what would you say would be your most memorable moment in the battle rap scene, or like, like battles? What would be something that stands out to you, like would just go to?
So I'll give you 2, because recently it's changed.
Okay.
the first time at that first battle that I had, you know, dropping, you know, a line, I had never had a crowd react to a bar before. And because I'd never been in that kind of a sense before, I had never had that happen. And I was like, this is an amazing feeling. Now I'm on, this is what I want. I want to get the crowd into it. And my mind went to, how do I keep the crowd? Because I had a couple oohs and ahs, but my last bar of the third round, it was just game over. I was like, oh, like, because in my head before I said it, because I knew, because I was freestyling, so I'm thinking, I was like, I remember looking like at myself in a mirror, and I knew, like, are you going to drop this bar or not? And I just said, fuck it, let's just say it, and it worked in my favor. But recently, it was my after being gone for 7 years and coming back. So I did the 2 bots battles first after being gone for 7 years in San Jose. And then my first battle back in Reno, that meant a lot to me. Like, having those people still there that were excited to see me battle, and having these new kids. And, you know, now that I'm 35, I can say these kids, you know,
Yeah, it's another generation now.
yeah, and they're like, "Hey, I'm excited to see you battle. You know, I've watched this battle, I've watched that battle. I watched your battles to get into battle rap." And I'm like, thinking to myself, you never really think of the impact you have on somebody just because, you know, I've never had a main stage card before, right? I've never had a King of the Dot card. I've never had those cards. But to me, what you do in your local scene and having those people come up to me and getting that crowd reaction, and then after the event, it was a different vibe. Everybody was together. And that was one of my most memorable moments, even though, you know, I've had those, you know, those bigger battles where, you know, I've headlined outside of Reno. You know, I've done those battles before, meeting those new people. Those are all great experiences. But having that feeling of, you've been gone for 7 years, but welcome back. And let's build this again. That was just a great feeling. That was a great feeling.
That's what's up. So technically, you're still active because you just posted something about a battle you're about to be in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Bots is doing a battle for their league champion. So down in San Jose, it was originally Dirtbag Dan's league, but now this guy Ryan's taking it over because Dan's doing a lot of Adopt My Block, where he's getting dogs adopted and doing a lot of stuff with a lot of really, really good things. So Bots had a champion, and then he was a champ for so long, and, you know, he kind of, you know, turned the belt in. So to kind of re-get the league going again, they're doing a 50 MC tournament. So there's going to be 50 of us. That's where the cap's going to be. And it's broken up into 2 blocks, A block and B block. And you pretty much battle everybody in your block. And whoever has the most victories at the end of you battling all 24 MCs, let's say if 50 people sign up, then you battle for the belt.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's one 3-minute round per battle in the preliminaries, and then the final battle is a 3-round battle.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some shit. And this is all gonna be online?
Yeah, so they'll stream it on their YouTube channel. Counterproductive will be their YouTube channel. So they'll stream it on there. And since I'm coming from out of town, you know, a lot of the MCs are from down there. But since I'm coming from out of town, I'll do anywhere from 2 to 3 battles a night to limit me driving as much down there.
Oh, so you're actually gonna go to film?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay.
So I'll be driving down there a lot, and it's worth it. You know, when I got back into battle rap, you know, I did an Instagram live, and, you know, one of the questions that was brought up is, what's the plan this time? And I said, the plan is to be a champion of a league. You know, that's what I want. I want to be the face of the league again. I want to have that belt. You know, a lot of people are like, you know, we do it for this. Yeah, I do it for the love of hip hop 100%, but I'm a super competitive person.
Nah, I mean, that's MCing, whether it's battling, whether it's just making music in general, is competitive. It's always has been. So you're competing, even if, you know, you're not coming off that way, you're still competing because that's just the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I get it, especially in battling, dude. Like, the whole thing is to be the winner. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck? Like, if you're, I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah, and some of these like
Play to win the game,
right? There's no winner announced. I'm like, if I lost, just tell me.
Right?
Win.
Man. So man, let's talk about, you know, so you're now you're wanting to like obviously train like no, you're still battling, but you obviously want to try to make music as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what's your mind state trying to transition and kind of like walk that line? Because I mean you're still battling, but yet you're still wanting to, you know, you're wanting to
right.
do more than just battle. So
yeah. So
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so this time it's different because I think my maturity level is 100-fold what it used to be. You know, I have this song that I wrote called My Name, and it kind of talks about how I became who these people in the scene wanted me to be. They wanted me to be the battle rapper, no matter if I was battling or in the booth or whatever the case may be. And the title of my album is actually Chapter 35 because now that I'm 35, I found that I finally found who I am as a hip hop artist. I finally found what I want to talk about. You know, I wrote a lot about my life. I've written a lot about, you know, what's going on in the world. And with this album, you know, I think a lot of times people will write an album and they'll look for a hit. You know, they'll be like, what's going to get the most plays? What's going to get me to this next level? And I would always think that way. But now I don't necessarily care if there's a hit. I don't care if there's a next level. I care that I'm actually saying something that somebody's going to listen to and learn something, or even if it's about me, if it's about something that's going on in the world, and they're going to say, he's speaking, you know. And that's what you know, when I've talked about this album, I use the term speaking a lot because I feel like on this album, I'm going to be speaking because I want people to listen. And I don't want people to think that, oh, this is a banger, I'm going to play it, you know. That's great, you know, but that's not who I am, you know. I was never really that person in the booth, like I said, but I felt I had to be because of the battle rap. Yeah. But you know, now at this age and with being gone for as long as I was from the scene, I was able to figure out who I wanted to be. And that's what this album, every single song is put together to have a message. There's not going to be one song on here that doesn't have a message. And that's where I'm going with the album. And that's why I think this time it'll be different. I'm not writing to impress anybody. I'm not. Now, does that to say that I'm not going to take constructive criticism from my peers? Absolutely not. I open that. I bring that. Like, please, you know, tell me if I didn't hit something right, or if you feel that the bar structure isn't how it should be, or if there's too many syllables, or how could you change this up? 100%. Let's do that. You know, that's one thing that my last album, I recorded all 13 songs in one day. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to get it out. And I was like, oh.
Hey, that's a nice fun fact to say. I recorded the whole album in a day. You know, it sounds good. It sounds good. But does it sound good?
Yeah. So that's why I think that I got the maturity level now, you know, of actually being an artist that, you know, you can walk down the street and someone could be like, hey, you know, I heard that song. When you said boom, 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 I felt that here. I think that's the difference now. Instead of, hey, I heard that track, I was playing it in my car, we were vibing, we were dancing. That's not who I am. That's not who I don't want to be remembered as an artist like that. I want to be remembered that I felt that here and it changed me here.
Well, that's dope, man. And you know what? That comes with doing music for a while, you know, like everybody, when you're younger, you know, everybody has a different mentality, a different goal. When you're younger, you know, you're more about partying, you're more about having fun and talking shit, whatever, you know. And then you live life a little bit more, then you go through some shit, and then you kind of realize it's not all about you, and it's about making an impact. And you know what I'm saying? Then you start thinking about, what can I leave to other people, or what's my legacy gonna be if I have one? You know what I'm saying? So I see where you're at, because that's just what happens in the evolution of music. You know? So
Yeah.
You're just evolving, bro, and that's a good thing. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
It feels really good to, like, I mean, I still have my pads and my pens, you know, that I write in. But it feels good, like when I'm like sitting somewhere and I start writing and I don't have to think about it. It's because it's what I'm writing is true. It's not a facade that, you know, I think a lot of times as any artist will put on to get those Instagram likes or those shares or those retweets. It's so easy to write now because I'm not thinking, I'm just letting it come out. And it's never felt better to put words to paper and then to hear it. And I'm just like, this is what I'm talking about.
There's no limits now. You know, you're not limiting yourself
Yeah.
by putting yourself. I can only say this. I can't say any more
Right.
than this because I got to stay in this box.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's freeing. You're free right now, bro.
Reading a lot of, you know, underground artists, you know, articles on them and things like that. And the one thing I took away from why these artists have stayed underground and not gone mainstream is because they don't want to be limited to what they can and can't say. And
Yeah.
man, why did it take so long for me to figure that out? You know, the end goal changed completely.
Well, you know, and that's just you know, just becoming who the person you're supposed to be.
Right.
You know, because everybody's end goal isn't the same. You know, now there's people who want that end goal to be, I got to be
Mm-hmm.
the greatest star ever in the history of the world. And there's some people who are like, I just want to make an impact with my music, make a living, and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And like, once I was that first dude. I want to do this when I'm in the 20s. I want to be this guy. I want to be this guy. And then, you know, the older I got, and when I moved to LA and I realized I wasn't shit compared to the fucking millions of people out there doing shit.
Right.
You humble yourself and you realize, okay, how can I fit in this shit? How can I make my way? You know, and that's what happened to me. And it seems like that happens to everybody in their own way.
Yeah.
And if it does, I think it's the better for you as an artist.
Definitely, yeah. Not forcing it, but just let it happen on its own.
Yeah, because I mean, once you get to that point where, you know, you're just like you're being creative. There's no caps on it.
Yeah.
You're doing whatever you want to do, and it's honest, it's pure, and it's who you are.
Yeah.
And you can live with that at the end of the day because you can say, hey, that's me.
Yeah.
That's not nobody else. That's me. You know? So
100%.
No, that's what's up, man. That's definitely what's up, bro. So I appreciate that shit, man. So you're talking the album. Are you recording now? Do you record yourself? Or like how does that process go for you?
Yeah, so I have a studio in the house, and my ultimate plan was to record, you know, everything here, right? You know, I want to do this album. I got the whole setup inside my house. Let's do that. And then as I was getting more into it, I'm not good at recording. I'll be honest with you. You know, I can't get the sound that I want. I can't get the mixing, the mastering. And before I'd have been like, yeah, full send. You know, let's let this go because I don't really care what it sounds like. I just want to be heard somewhere. And if a show pops up, I got new material, you know, and that's kind of how I used to be. And I think a lot of us used to be like that. So what I've decided is what I've been doing is using my studio in my house as like to lay down the bars that I've written so I can see how it sounds with the cadence of the beat. So almost use as the rough draft. So you're
demoing. Yeah.
Kind of taking my time with the things, and when I like how it sounds, like I have the My Name song, how I like the cadence and everything, so I go in and I put final on it. Like that's how I want it to sound. So this Saturday I'm going to my boy Vex's house, and we're gonna do two songs, My Name and then a song called Demons. We're gonna do both of those. We're gonna record them there, and then from there we'll do a couple more tracks probably, and then once we get going together, do the tracks that we're gonna do and record together at your spot.
Nice. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing some of these songs from you, and also look at it too, like even before like we can get in, like maybe even having like a FaceTime Zoom session, dude, where we just like, we just talk about your ideas and what you're trying to do
Definitely.
and what you want to do and play stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like until we can actually get in together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least keep the ball rolling, because I know you're working on your shit, and I don't want to like prolong anything or delay anything. I feel like we can make things happen.
Yeah.
We just got to be creative with it right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely on board with helping you any way you want to. Any way you need anything you need from me, man. I'm definitely down to help, because I wanna see you make the music you want to make. You know what I'm saying? And if I can help that happen, I'm more than glad to do that. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I love the fact that like I've kept the, production before was always all over the place, right? You're trying to find different producers to do different things, like, oh, I like this guy's beat. I like this guy. I like this. I like that. Oh, I liked what they did. Let me steal a piece of that. And for me, the main, I have two main producers on my album, being yourself, and then Kendrick Baker. He's making beats for me right now as well. So that's why I think that the vibe is so great, is because it's a local album with local production, and I think that is, and there's two beats that I got from another producer. Those are the ones I'm recording to on Saturday. But that's what makes the album so much more wholesome, is that it's the family coming together and making the music how we want it to sound. That's why that night when I messaged you at at 10:30, and I was like, hey man, I got a question about some beats, and I was like, I hope he's not.
Hey man, I appreciated that shit, man. I was like, oh, okay, like word, like like that's love, man. I appreciate that shit, man.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, are we able to talk about the documentary things or no? I see his comment right there. So
y'all filming, huh? Okay.
Bring that up.
Make it.
Let's see what he says.
He's typing right now. Hold on. He's got bubbles. He's typing.
Okay, perfect. So Jerry's actually, I feel super grateful for this. He's going to create a documentary on the whole album from start to finish. So it's me in the studio, me writing what it's taken for each song. And I'm excited for that. Like I got chills right now. Like that's how, like, it's going to be amazing. And just, it's cool to see. I always felt like I was always, a person that people were always behind, and I would always put myself first, for people. And it's really cool to get to that feeling right now, like having these people behind me for this project, and not just for, hey, you gotta win this battle. You're representing Reno. You gotta win this battle. Now this is a project, and people can tell how much it means to me, and it means that much to them.
No, it's dope, man. Like I said, like you're trying to do something that not many people do. There's not many people, if you look at the battle game, that are really good battle rappers and they have solid content or solid fucking catalog of music. Right. It's and if they do have good songs, chances are their songs sound a lot like their battles, but they're over beats. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. No. If that's what you're doing. Yeah. But if you're trying to do more than that, then you get stuck in that box. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, like I'm super excited to help you get out of that box. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you want to be out of it. Yeah. So let's get you out of that, and let's get you doing some dope shit. You know what I'm saying?
Box it behind me and just walk away from it. Yeah. I need more. You know what I'm saying? Like and I appreciate that, because that's how I feel. Like I don't want to be trapped. I need to, branch off and be the artist that, like I said, it feels here and they learn something here.
Right. Well, shit, man, you've talked about what's next. So, man, so is the film, has the filming already started? Or
no?
Okay.
No. It'll start soon.
You guys are still putting the ideas together and what it's going to be. Okay.
Is together, especially with the whole COVID thing, trying to figure out how are we going to socially distance when we're doing it, and things like that, just, trying to, again, like I said earlier, do our part to continue to live the life, but also not live a life that's going to put somebody else's life at jeopardy.
Right. Yeah, that's the tough thing, man. It's trying to keep that balance of wanting to stay creative and working, but then like not taking it too far and doing some dumb shit just to
Right.
make music or something, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm saying saying it in a way where it's like it's not worth it,
Right.
but this can be life or death
It,
depending on who gets shit, you know? So you got to take a
yeah.
precaution.
And it's not like I have a record label pushing me to be like, you got to get your content out, right? Like we're
There
on,
you go.
you know, and my ultimate goal was to drop this on my birthday, which would have been in 23, 22 days. But it's okay that it's not. Like Jerry and I had this conversation, and it's okay that it's not, because it would be rushing it. The quality wouldn't be there. Be rushing to write, you know, and it's just take the steps to do it. And then once it's done, it's done. And however long that journey takes, I'm willing to put in the time for that journey to be complete.
If you're going to do it and you want to put all the passion and effort behind it that you're saying you do, you don't want to rush it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want it to be, you'll know when it's done.
Yeah.
You'll know in your heart when it's done, dude. I've done plenty of projects that I love, and you know when it's done. You're like, okay, I think I'm done. I think this is it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't put it out till you get to that point. You know what I'm saying? When you get to that point and you feel like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to show everybody. Yeah. Then put that shit out, man. Yeah. And there's no time frames. It don't matter. Right now, it's time standing still. It's not standing still, but it kind of is in a way. You know what I'm saying? Musically, anyway, you can do what you want now. You don't have to worry about any time frames because people are listening. They ain't got shit else to do.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, but it's cool to do, like I said, it's cool to do these rough drafts. This final one that I have, before I had it, I was playing it in here, and my wife was in the kitchen, and she goes, "Did you finally re-record that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, when you first did it, it just sounded like you were talking. You weren't speaking." And I was like, "Damn, okay, you're right. I'm sorry." So I went back in, you know, and I hit it, and I was like, "There we go. There we go."
It's funny. It's funny when the wives give you that good commentary. They're like, "Hey, you kind of fucked up right there."
Yeah, but
they do that though. They pay attention without letting you know they pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
They pay attention.
Sometimes I'll spit battle bars, and she'll be like, "No," and I'll be like, "No." She'll be like, "Call Jerry. Call your brother. Call Zach. Ask him." And everyone's like, "No," and I'll be like, "All right, no." No. Yep.
On you.
Yep.
Hey, you got a good one then, bro. So.
Oh yeah.
It's all you got a good one.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. We are like almost at an hour, dude. So, is there anything else you want to say before we sign off? Is there any?
Just that I appreciate you having me on here. Like I said earlier, like I love all the episodes, everything that you're doing, and it's awesome to see. You know, everybody bringing the community together to be as positive as we can be in a time where positivity seems like it doesn't exist. But if you look in the right place, it's there.
No, for sure. And I appreciate you for making time to chat tonight, man. I appreciate everybody who puts aside time out of their day and just to hang out and talk, man. It's good to catch up, but it's also good to get your perspective on things as well as what you're up to. So, man, I thank you. Dude, send me a demo, bro. I want to hear something.
Yeah, I can do that.
Let me hear something. I want to hear. Get an idea of where you're going for the project. You know what I'm saying?
So on Saturday after we record it, I'll send it your way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, and let's plan on doing like a FaceTime or a Zoom, something where we just like talk about some shit and like what we're gonna do or what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, because I have a full track written to one of the beats you sent me, so I want to get your perspective on kind of where I went with it.
That's dope. Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, that's kind of the vision I had for the beat.
No, that's dope, man. Yeah, definitely. I'm like, yeah, I never put a vision or a expectation on a beat. I just like to hear what people do. So I'm just super excited to hear what you do. So yes, let's plan on something. So yeah, man, hit me on Saturday when you do that song, and then we'll go from there. Plan something for next week.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, man. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I would like to thank my man Hardcastle for spending some time with me tonight and chopping it up. I want to thank everybody who is listening and who watched tonight. I appreciate all of you guys. There was a lot of viewers tonight, man. These 9 o'clock ones seem like they pick up a lot of people. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back again tomorrow at 9 o'clock with my man Scourge from Sacramento, one of the dopest MCs I've met. Super bars, does his thing. We're going to talk to him about his career, what he's got going on right now, and how he feels about everything. So until then, I hope you guys stay safe, stay aware, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.